Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Shay, your local numerologist. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. Make sure you leave your comments and experiences below. All right, and as always throughout this reading, remember, happiness is always the goal, guys. So let's get into it. We're doing Generation 8, the individual list. Okay, so Gen 8 in a Gen 7 year. I love it. I think that you guys are really gonna kind of be on top of things because 7 is a number that's all about ourselves, and it's all about kind of self-improvement, enlightenment, things like that. So as an individualist in this year, this is really a year that you guys are meant to self-sacrifice is the word that spirit is given. So it's almost like you guys have to give up something to achieve something that you really want. Um, and this isn't like, oh yeah, you have to give up money to buy a car. This is kind of like two things can exist at the same time. Um, so yeah. Something about you it's a conflict. Like you guys have some kind of conflict going on, right? So let's get the basis of you guys' instincts over this next year, over 2023. What we got? Oh, King of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. Let's pull one more because I love the number 3. And that card fell on the floor. Let's see. And it looks like it's in reverse. And the devil in reverse. If there is one card that's good coming up in reverse, it is the damn devil, okay? So we have the Ace of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and we have the devil in reverse. Now, the King of Wands keeps making an appearance in these readings, right? And I think that is mainly because the King of Wands is all about doing the shit that he needs done. The King of Wands is always about moving, getting it done, moving, not just accepting the bullshit, not just being like, okay, well, I know that, we'll get there eventually. It's not about that, right? The King of Wands sees something he wants, he goes after it. 8 is really a good number at manifesting. So I do get this energy that you need to manifest for yourself, find out what is important to you, and manifest the things that you really, really want in life, okay? So let's see what we're saying with these instincts for 2023. We have the Ace of Pentacles. This card is standing out to me too. All right, so we got 4 cards here because Spirit said so. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, King of Wands, Devil in reverse, and then Judgment, okay? So we started with the 1 and we ended up on the 2. That's interesting in and of itself. So Ace of Pentacles is a gift from Spirit. Whenever you see this hand, right, in tarot coming up out of nowhere, that is Spirit handing something to you, right? And so this is something that is meant to take you in a different direction. I feel like it's being directly handed to you. And here, with the devil being in reverse, you are being given a gift that is going to kind of break you out of these chains. Now, it could be money, but it also could be like a new opportunity to do something. And I want you guys to open up your mind, open up your heart, and it's kind of like you guys have to be secure in the unknown, right? Because let's say, for instance, you are working to save all this money for a car. So you're working to save money for a car, right? But what if someone in your family has a car and they're willing to just give it to you, right? Because you really need a car, right? And so that's what I'm talking about. You have to open up your mind. There's more than one way to get this car. You could work really hard to make the money for it, every single dime, or somebody could give it to you. Or you guys know when people like abandon cars and they're abandoned for a long period of time, you could take over those cards. I'm just saying there are ways, but it's all about thinking outside the box, right? It's all about being open to things that you don't immediately see, because this isn't how it normally works, right? There are exceptions to the rules, but I would just like to point out that we are all exceptions, right? There's plenty of sperm and plenty of eggs that could have been chosen, and it was one and one for your ass, okay? So I say that to say that our lives are intentionally chosen and intentionally picked, and things that happen to us are also intentional. And I feel like that's something that you guys kind of recognize as having eight. I don't know where else you are dealing with a eight in your life. But eight is definitely this number of karma. What goes around comes around. What you put in, you get out, right? So if you set your sights on something and you work toward that, you may not get it exactly the way that you expected it, but it's going to come to you. All right. So I just want you guys to recognize that. I got my wisdom chakra cards out. Let's do a couple shuffles. Oh, we got two. I did see rebirth. Let's get one more. It's like I said, I like the number 3. Look at that. Number 30, I am presence. You can't make this up. Oh, shit. And again, we got 4. Y'all, you can't make it up. You cannot make it up. Oh, I like the number 3. Here we go with 4 again. Again. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We have this, I was about to say visualization, y'all. Visualization, right? Visualization is a major, major part of manifesting your life, right? So as somebody who is all about, or should be all about, because listen, generation numbers are about your instincts that lead you toward that destiny, right? Which is this judgment card. Definitely represents destiny. Definitely represents a calling. And that means that you, as an individualist, as a Generation 8, you do have to focus on you, who you are, what you're doing, the way that you motivate people or demotivate people. Like the things that you do are very important, because for whatever reason people are watching, you are an influence, right? If you look at these things, personal power, you guys have a lot of power. With the number 13 coming here, you have to just, I always say when you see the number 13, just be careful of being selfish, and then also be careful of allowing other people to use you for your personal power, because 4 is the number of building. 4 is the number of foundation. 4 is our way, also our heart chakra. 4 is the number that represents love and forgiveness and our happiness, okay? So we also have rebirth here. I feel like some things are restarting with you. So you guys are like starting over, I guess. And it makes sense because technically, I mean, depending on when you were born this year, but at some point this year is going to be a 8 year for you, and then next year is going to be your actual year, which is going to be a 1 year. So your cycle is starting over next year, right? And what that means is that you guys are on the last year in this 9-year cycle. Okay. So with that comes the accumulation of things. With that comes having this idea of, okay, these are the things that I've learned over, the course of these past 9 years. And this is how I want to use my knowledge. This is how I want to move forward, right? And so I do get this a rebirth, right? I feel that you guys are kind of reinventing yourselves, and that's good, right? One thing, one reason why it's important to leave home, even though a lot of people don't do it, is so that you can feel free to reinvent yourself without having people look at you like, oh yeah, well, I know who you were last year and that's not really you, or you can't do that. Look what you did back then, or remember in elementary school when you did this, and whatever the case may be. It's just a bunch of bullshit. So you guys have to come into your own. And if you're not able to move away from your hometown, I definitely suggest and encourage you to separate yourself from people that are always trying to have you looking back at the old you, right? The old you is the old you, not the new you. And honestly, you do deserve a whole lot better than that. So I feel like the devil over here is coming up in reverse because you guys are releasing chains on yourself to come into this to come into your calling, this connection with spirit. So the number 20, which is the judgment card, the number 20 comes with a spiritual connection and then some kind of block because the zero is at the end. So spirit is stopping something from happening. And I think it's here. I think it's I am present. That you guys have not spent enough time being present, right? Thinking too much about the past, thinking too much about the future. You have to be present. And that's not to say let's not make goals or let's not review things and see where we could do better and how we can make it better. But honestly, living in a constant state of, oh, I did this in the past, or oh, I want to do this in the future, can really lead to a lot of anxiety, right? And so I feel like this rebirth energy is kind of this energy of learning, being rebirthed again so that you can have a chance to be present, so that you can let go of the past and the guilt and all of the bullshit, the shame, all of that, and then move forward to your future. So we have visualized falling under this Ace of Pentacles. I do really, because the 2 and the 8 come to 1, I really do believe that you guys have been really brewing something behind the scenes, and spirit is going to kind of hand it to you, right? So this is what I was talking about, saving for a car, and then somebody's just going to give you a car. You're just going to get it. So something that you have been working very hard on is going to be handed to you. That's not to say discontinue working, no, because a lot of times people want to help us because they see that we're doing everything we can, right? Because you don't want to help somebody that's not going to help themselves. Like, you don't want to do that. Like, you're not going to do anything to move forward. You're just going to, like, be entitled, basically. But when you busting your ass for something and you haven't reached it, and then somebody's like, listen, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to take care of this for you. You're going to be grateful, right? You're not going to feel, it's not an entitled energy. It's definitely a grateful energy. So then we have rebirth and we have the King of Wands, which this energy is telling me that there has been a lot of time that you guys have not believed in yourself. Maybe you have kind of chopped the shit that spirit says up as like maybe you crazy or whatever the case may be. But you have, you kind of put a lot of doubt out there, right? A lot of doubt. And it's time for you to go through this transition, right? I also get that communication is something that is important. So you guys have to make sure that you are communicating. communicating being grateful. So you communicate your gratitude, and then also kind of like communicating the things that you want in life. So we have personal power, and then we have the devil in reverse. This is like literally breaking through some chains. This is like everything that was holding you back has no more rights to you. Spirit is moving and making a way so that you are okay with depending on yourself and supporting yourself. I just get that, I mean, this fist holds a lot of power. And it's also about confidence. All right, so we have I am presence with the judgment card. All right, so again, you guys are wrapping up this cycle. Just wrapping it up. There are a lot of changes that are going to be made this year. Okay, so you want to make sure that before your birthday hits next year, so you guys have a whole year from whenever your birthday is this year, that you have established what you want and who you want to be. And also for you guys, I get this energy of making sure you guys are clearing up any karma, right? Any negative karma that you are still thinking about, clear it up, right? You owe somebody something, you feeling bad about it, clear it up. You did something wrong to somebody, apologize. Turn yourself in. I don't care, whatever the case may be. Because you guys, when you go into that 8th year, which is going to be a year 1 for you, you are going to have to deal with your karma head on. And if you have not made and took the time to take care of that shit beforehand, it is going to be hard. It is going to be very, very difficult. So make sure you guys are believing in treating yourselves correctly. Like you are responsible for your love. Like you are connected to everyone on this earth, and it's important how you treat every single person. So I'm going to get you guys a final message for 2023 for our Generation 8's final message for 2023. Gen 8 and a Gen 7 year. Final message, Spirit. I don't want to lose nothing today. I mean, hold on to your love. Ooh, hell no. And then the lovers came out. Hold on, baby. Hold on. Final message. You guys have to learn how to love again. Okay? And this is definitely this idea of holding on to physical things as opposed to people. Right? So, I always say that dating is a numbers game, right? And I remember when I was single, I was told you gotta kiss a lot of frogs to find that prince, right? So you have to go, especially if you're looking for like a romantic mate, but even if you are looking for a friend, you have to put yourself out there, right? It's not just gonna be like, oh yeah, one day, because you gotta think when you're doing that, you're manifesting, right? When you're dating and you're like, I like this about that person, I don't like this, and then you move on with your life and you keep looking and you keep adding up on that list of shit you can and cannot deal with, you're gonna manifest the person that spirit feels like is compatible to you, right? Because the more you get to know yourself, which is, hey, I'm willing to accept this, I'm not willing to accept that, and we're all different. All different. One of my biggest pet peeves is seeing people be like, oh yeah, in a relationship you should do this and you should do that. Like, you don't know what I should be doing in my relationship. Who the hell are you? Right? So you guys have to make sure that whatever relationship you are developing, it is between you and that other person. No third parties allowed, because they are unnecessary. So anyway, I do feel like you guys are learning to love again. I definitely get that you have been protective over yourself, almost to a fault where you have up these really harsh concrete walls. And unfortunately, that doesn't help you get to know yourself better. Just because the relationship that we have with ourselves is a lot of times expressed in how we treat other people. So it's hard to discover things about yourself when you're so closed off and you're not sharing your thoughts and your concerns, your ideals and your morals and your ethics with others. So I do want you guys to speak a little bit more. Talk about the things that you want. This is part of releasing those chains for you. So if you guys didn't know, the devil and the lovers, right? They're both sixes and they're kind of like one and the same because the lovers are here. They're chained to the devil. So what I feel like, and the lovers is about choice. So there are some choices that you have made in the past that you are not particularly satisfied with, and you're not unique in that, okay? But you've kind of been stuck, right? It's kind of like when you make a choice to buy a house and you're stuck with this mortgage, right? So you guys have to figure out what it is you want to hold on to and what you want to let go. And those things that you want to let go, the things that you don't want to deal with anymore, I need you guys to create some kind of exit strategy. I need you to move yourself away from it, all right? So that is all I have for my Generation 8. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Leave your comments and experiences below. And as always, remember, happiness is the goal. I will see you guys next time.